NASA just revealed real images of Jupiter, and it shocks scientists. From what was found in the big red spot to a new view of one of the planet's moons, and more. Let us show you real pictures of what NASA found on Jupiter. But before we move forward in the video, make sure to subscribe for more content and like this video for receiving similar suggestions from YouTube. Also, we highly appreciate your comments. Now, let's get straight into the video. It's not hard to see why so many people at NASA and beyond are interested in Jupiter. It's the biggest planet in our solar system. It's a massive gas giant that has all sorts of unique atmospheric content, and it has so many moons that any one of them could have major discoveries lurking within, and we wouldn't know it until we honestly did some hardcore search on them. That's why we've tried to make passes at Jupiter in various ways over the years in order to not just get pictures and footage and even audio clips of the planet, but to get a better idea of how this planet works as a whole. Big red spot. When it comes to Jupiter, how can you miss the mighty big red spot? The largest planet in the solar system is home to the largest and most powerful storm known to date. We don't know exactly how long it has been on Jupiter, but it has been raging since Robert Hooke first discovered it with his telescope in 1664. Over the years, several missions have explored this massive storm on Jupiter. During their brief flybys, it was explored by spacecraft such as Voyager 1, Voyager 2, and the Cassini spacecraft. From Earth, the Hubble Space Telescope makes observations of Jupiter and the Great Red Spot. The latest Hubble data shows that the red spot is shrinking. Once upon a time, there was a storm big enough to engulf 3 Earth-sized planets inside. Today, it is the right size for a planet the size of Earth. In addition, hurricanes have accelerated over the past decade. Hubble data from 2008 to 2020 showed that the wind speed at the edge of the Great Red Spot increased by 8%. The high pressure area also changes shape and changes from oval to round. Getting detailed observations of the Great Red Spot from Earth is challenging. Even the largest telescopes on Earth or in space can only study storms at a certain extent. To really see what's going on inside a storm, we need to visit Jupiter and make constant observations. And that's exactly what NASA's Juno spacecraft has been doing since its launch. Enter the Juno probe. Juno was launched in 2011 and reached Jupiter 5 years later, and ever since has been giving NASA and others all sorts of information about Jupiter. It orbits the planets and is constantly exploring Jupiter's magnetosphere, cloud tops, radiation belts, and the composition of its moons. Juno is a mission full of daring tasks, but unfortunately, Jupiter's lethal radiation makes it very difficult for spacecraft to get too close to the planet. However, after 5 years of observation, Juno discovered what was hidden beneath Jupiter's thick clouds, and especially in the Great Red Dot. Even now, a decade after it was first introduced, it still provides people with valuable data, such as some of the new discoveries it made recently. For example, if you have seen Jupiter before, you will see the Great Red Spot, which is visible to all. This is of great interest to scientists everywhere, and if possible, Juno was sent to study it and new data to reconsider our opinion on it. The Big Red Spot is considered a flat pancake storm, according to Scott Bolton, chief researcher for NASA's Juno mission and director of the Division of Space Science and Technology at the Southwestern Research Institute in San Antonio. We knew it lasted a long time, but we didn't know how deep or how it really worked. In February and July 2019, NASA's Juno spacecraft flew directly over the 16,000-kilometer wide Great Red Spot to see how deep the vortex extends beneath the visible cloud tops. One of the scientists on the team had this to say: "The precision required to get the Great Red Spot's gravity during the July 2019 flyby is staggering. Being able to complement the microwave radiometer's finding on the depth gives us great confidence that future gravity experiments at Jupiter will yield equally intriguing results." How deep is it? Well, it's as high as the International Space Station above the surface of our planet. This means that if a storm of that magnitude were to rage on Earth, its upper end would be on the ISS 500 kilometer above us. As the storm rages, the size of the red spot shrinks. In 1979, it was twice the diameter of Earth. Since then, the place has shrunk by at least a third. Many wonder what will happen in time. Will it continue to shrink? Will it suddenly increase in size again? It's hard to say. But what we do know is that Juno will monitor it and provide updates whenever possible. How scientists measure the depth of the Great Red Spot. And now an interesting question is how scientists measure the depth of the Great Red Spot and what happens there. Asking questions is an important part of understanding. These results come from two research teams. A team measured the gravity of the Great Red Spot. They wanted to know if the storm was affecting Jupiter in any way. The idea is simple. Juno's gravity science tool turned to the 10,000-mile storm to see if it left any fingerprints on Jupiter's gravitational field. This assignment was not part of Juno's original proposal. However, studying a planet's gravity to study its atmosphere is nothing new. Several NASA satellites have done the same on Earth. Gravity tools can also see deeper into the atmosphere than other tools tend to see. It was never done with the Great Red Spot. The job was a gamble. Scientists weren't sure they would find anything significant. The big red spot might be giant, but it was a drop in Jupiter's usual table bucket. However, researchers have actually found enough fluctuations in Jupiter's gravitational field to handle the storm's depth, 500 kilometers. And major storms seem to be powered by jets much deeper, up to 3,000 kilometers. While the first team surveyed the site using gravity measurements, the second team surveyed the storm with Juno's microwave radiometer. It is an instrument that uses microwaves to study the planet's atmosphere. These scientists wanted to look deep into the storm to see it click vertically. They found that the Great Red Spot and other similar storms stretched deep beneath Jupiter, with precipitation and currents of unprecedented depth. In addition, they found evidence of this phenomenon beneath Jupiter's cloud heights, below which are ammonia and water. The atmosphere is expected to condense. Taken together, gravity and microwave measurements show that Jupiter's upper atmosphere has a significant relationship with its depth. The Great Red Spot is actually an anticyclone. The Great Red Spot is actually a raging high-pressure area on Jupiter. This planet is home to several cyclones and similar anticyclones. The new results show that cyclones are warmer above, with a lower atmospheric density, while they are cooler below with a higher density. In contrast to this, the high-pressure area rotating in the opposite direction is cooler at the top, but warmer at the bottom. Belts and zones. In addition to cyclones and anticyclones, Jupiter is known for its distinctive belts and zones, streaks of white and reddish clouds that shroud the planet. A strong east-west wind in the opposite direction split the course. Juno has previously found that these winds or jets reach depths of about 3,200 kilometers. researchers are still trying to solve the mystery of how jet streams are created. However, the data collected by the Juno instrument over multiple passes suggest one possible clue: that ammonia gas is moving up and down in the atmosphere in remarkable agreement with the observed jet stream. NASA's Juno spacecraft has been observing Jupiter continuously since 2016. In 2021, the mission was extended for another 5 years. If everything goes according to plan, Juno's orbit will be the path that will move to guide the probe past the planet's north pole and away from the Great Red Spot, which is further south. But Juno's instrument can also observe other interesting things, such as Jupiter's mysterious polar cyclone and 4 Galilean moons. Jupiter holds the secrets of the early solar system, and exploration of this planet is essential to understanding how the solar system actually formed. With that said, we have reached the end of our video. Like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not done yet. See you next time. Thanks for watching.